on some condition. So what is the condition here? The condition is it is raining or not. So if it is raining, we will select this action. If it is raining, okay, this is true, this condition is true, okay. And if this condition is what we call false condition, and what we say that it is not raining, then we'll take the second action, that is we'll go to the university. Fine. So the selection is based on some condition. This we can implement the selection, this kind of selection or branching we can implement in programming. All programming languages provide the structure to enable selection. So every programming language, whether it is AOU build programming or whether it is any other programming language, that provides a way or a structure to use selection. Okay, so we are going to use here blocks of selection in by using AOU build. Before we use selection, we need to understand something called Boolean blocks. Boolean blocks. Any block of a statement that returns true or false, the result is either true or false, is called a Boolean block. Any block of a statement that reports true or false, that is called a Boolean block or a Boolean statement. Now, can you tell me what is a Boolean statement in this blocks or in these statements? Which one is the Boolean statement or a Boolean block? It is raining. Very good. Yeah. So it is raining. This is a Boolean block. This is a Boolean block because this block says it returns this statement either true or false. If it is raining, it is true. If it is not raining, it is false. So this block we can consider as a Boolean block or a Boolean statement. Okay. So it reports either true or false. Selection blocks are found in the control palette of the AOU build. These are if-then selection and if-then else selection. They instruct the program to select which action to take next. This is where the selection comes here. So we can talk about the selection here in AOU build. So in AOU build, if you look into this control palette, you have the selection statement like this: if okay, you have if else. These are two selections. Okay, they are found in control palette. So you go to the control, you will find there if and if then else. Okay. So the if block, this is an if block. The AOU will check the condition. The condition is going to put here. Here we are going to put the condition, okay, which is true or false. If it reports true, if the condition reports true, the AOU will run the if part, that is this part. And if this condition reports false, then AOU will ignore this part. Ignore this part. So for example, let's say that we say If true, let's say that if 2 is less than 3. If 2 is less than 3, say hello. Okay. So what happens here? It is 2 is less than 3. This is true, right? 2 less than 3 is true or false? It is true. So if it is true, it will say hello. Okay. And let's say that if I say 4 is less than 3 and I execute this, I have nothing to display. Why? Because 4 less than 3 is false. If it is false, it will not execute this part. Okay. If there is anything else, let's say for example, thank you. Okay. If it is 2 less than 3, it is true. It says hello and it also says thank you. And if it is, let's say, 4 less than 3, it is false. It does not says hello. Since this is false, so it will not execute the if part. It will go out of the if part and present thank you. Okay, this is the if block. Is it clear? The if block is clear to you? How about the other students? If block is clear? Okay, I'll repeat it simply. Here we are looking into the branch statement if else in OU bit. So in OU bit we have this if else inside the control palette. So you have here if and you have if else. Okay. So if we'll have the condition here, the condition can be any condition. For example, if 4 is less than 3. So what you want to say if 4 is less than 3, you can say it here. Okay. Now, if 4 is less than 3, returns true or false. So, what do you say? 4 less than 3, true or false? Appeal. I want the answer from Appeal. 4 less than 3, true or false? False. So, if it is false, it will not execute this statement. So, when you see this one, you don't have anything. Anything after that will be executed. Let's say that after if you have thank you. So this is false, so it will not execute. It just say thank you. Okay. Similarly, if I check 2 less than 3, now what is the condition? True or false? It's the repeat. True. So if it is true, it will say hello and then it will come out and also say thank you. Fine. So this is what here the if else, the if statement, this is how it works. Okay. We also have the if then else block. If then else block is like when you have two statements or two actions to be executed based on the condition. So we say if 2 less than 3, if it is true, we'll execute a statement here. If this becomes false, it will go to the else part and execute the statement under the else part. Execute the statement under the else part. So this is in two options here we have. So if it reports true, it will run the if part. If it is reports false, then it will run the else part. So if you go back to the AOU build here, we check like if 2 less than 3, say 2, we say hello. And if else otherwise, we say thank you. Okay. Now what is the statement that will be executed if we run this code? What it will print? What is the output of this code? It is true, but what is the output? What this will print? Hello. So it will print hello, not thank you. Because this is true, so it true block is executed. When this become false, it will this thank you will be executed. So 4 less than 3. Which block will be executed? What is the output? Thank you. So it will print thank you. Okay. So this block of code with if then else. Is it clear? Okay. So here also we have an activity 3.1. It says check the user spelling is equal to the word or not. It says if the user spelling is equal to the word, it's a well done. Click on me for another question. Otherwise, it's a wrong. Press spacebar to try again. Okay. So it all depends on the if else. Okay. Here is an activity 3.5. Is guessing a game. Guessing game that works by pressing a key. Set a secret number to a random number. Ask the user to enter the guess. Determine whether the number guess is equal to the secret number and inform accordingly. Telling that lucky guess or unlucky, press A to try again. Okay, so it's an activity 3.5. Now let's do that activity here 3.5. So it says first that you need to set a secret number, which is a random number. Fine. So we'll take when click on flag, we take a variable called secret number. Okay, and we set secret number to the random number, to a random number. So we have pick random here from 1 to, let's say 1 to 99. So any number to pick from 1 to 99. Now let's write the program again. It says when A is pressed, okay, ask the user to enter a random number or enter a number or guess a number. Guess a number. Okay. Now we take that as guess variable, fine, and we set that guess to the answer. Set guess to the answer. What we enter. Okay. Now we check if we have to use if. What we have to check if guess is equal to the secret number. Okay. So we need an equal block here. We check that if guess is equal to the secret number. Fine. So we check this if here. We say well done. Well done. You did good job. Okay, so you have a correct guessing. Fine. Else, so we need else here. So we need to take, sorry, we need to take if else, not else, if. Sorry. Okay, if else, we say wrong guess, try again by pressing A key. Okay. So this is our simple program or a game of guessing a number. So before we start this guessing a number, first is what you need to do, need to set the secret number. So you need to click on a flag to set the secret number. So we click on a flag to set the secret number. We set the secret number. Okay. Now after this, press A from the keyboard. Say guess a number. Let's say that I guess 55. Okay. And I enter. Say wrong guess. Try again by pressing A. Try again by pressing A. Then again I press A. Guess a number. Let's say 59. Well done. You did good job. Okay, or correct guess, whatever the number is. So as you see here, like it's a simple game. You set the secret number, press the A key, and you enter a number. For example, 5. You will get that you chose the right number or not. Okay, fine. We can also improve this message like guess a number between 1 and 99. Okay, to make it more easy, so we set a secret number and we press A. So let's say that we guess 28. Well done, good job. So this is how we use the if else statement. Clear? Is it clear for you? Students online, is it clear? Everything clear? Okay. So for these selection blocks, we take the comparison operators like less than, equal to, or greater than. Fine. The comparison blocks less than, equal to, or greater than. The Boolean comparison blocks which compares the numbers. Okay. So we all know that what is less than, or equal to, or greater than. Fine. Less than reports true when the first number is less than the second number. And greater than equal reports if both numbers are same, and greater than reports true when first number is greater than the second number. Okay. For example, here 2 is greater than minus 1 into 2. So this is minus 1 into 2. What is minus 1 into 2? Minus 2. So 2 is greater than minus 2. Is it returns true or false? It returns true. It reports true. Okay, this is statement. 1 plus 1.5 multiplied by 3 is equal to 5.5. It reports false because 1 plus 1 first, it is 2.5. 2.5 by 3, it is 7.5. 7.5 is equal to 5.5 is false. Okay. You can also display that message. Say this. So this says true or false. This says true or false. So for example, in this case, say is 2 less than 1. So what it says false. Because 2 is not less than 1. Let's say 1 less than 1. Is it true? 1 less than 1? 1 less than 1 is false. Okay, so let's say that 1 less than 2. This says true. Okay. So this is all the explanation of the selection statement, programming structure that allows the instruction either to be executed or skipped based on the condition. The condition statement either returns true or false. Okay, it is a Boolean value. Fine. So any expression that returns true or false, we call it as a Boolean expression. Any expression or any statement that returns true or false, we call that as a Boolean expression. For example, 4 less than 10. Sorry, 4 greater than 10. This is false, right? This give you false. So when anything that gives true or false, we call it as a Boolean expression. 3 multiplied by 3 less than 9, it is false. So any statement that is false, true, that gives you true or false, we call that as uh, a Boolean expression. Okay. So we have another example here. It says if it is snowing, put the cat in the kitchen. If not snowing, put the cat outside the kitchen. Turn out the lights. Okay. So here the condition is if it is snowing or not. That is the condition. The condition is it is snowing or not. So based on the condition, if it is snowing, we say that okay, put the cat in the kitchen. Otherwise, else we say put the cat outside, turn off the lights. Okay, so it's all depends on the condition. What you see in this figure. If it is snowing, put the cat in the kitchen. Else, put the cat outside, turn out the light. This statement is out of the if else. This one is out of the if else. So this has nothing related to the if else. In all cases, this statement is executed. We have another form in another way to represent this if else. Okay, what we write it here is called a flow chart. Flow chart is a pictorial representation of the solution. Okay, so if this solution of the putting the cat in the kitchen or not put the cat in the kitchen based on this condition, if you want to write a flow chart for this, it's very simple. That you need to write something like this. This you see this pyramid. Okay, this one it is snowing. This checks the condition, the true or false. If it is true, we say put the cat in the kitchen, turn out the lights. And this is false, we say put the cat outside and turn out the lights. Right? This is called a flow chart. Okay. We can also use a not operator. Not appears before the Boolean expression. Sometimes it is convenient to express a condition in negative form. In negative form. Okay, not in not form. Says like for example, it is not raining. If it is not raining, the sound is clear to all students online. The sound is clear to all. So please check from your side. Check from your side, please. Maz, please check from your side. So here sometimes we can represent the condition in a negative form. Okay, if it is not raining, for example, if customer is not an adult, so not is a Boolean operator. Not is a Boolean operator. It is also called a unary operator that turns the condition into the another form. Let's say, for example, not of true is false. If something true, not of true is false. And if something false, not of false is true. Okay. So not turns the condition into its opposite. So for example, not something that evaluates to true will be false, and not of false will give you true. Okay, this is a negative condition. Now suppose the specification of guessing a game change. The script should give the user information about incorrect guess. Okay, so if you want to add something new, right? So we can add a sequence of if else. We can add a sequential if else, if more than one if. Okay, so sequence of if. For example, in our game of asking a number, what we did in asking a number is just when we press the A key, it says guess a number. When it says, let's say for example, 5, it says wrong number or wrong guess, but it does not give us a hint to like in which way it is the number is, whether it is the number is less than the secret number or greater than the secret number, giving some hint to the user like to try for the next time, to try better for the next time. Okay, so if you want something like this, like ask the user to enter the secret number, determine whether it is equal to, less than or greater than the secret number, inform the user accordingly. Like if it is equal, we say lucky guess. If it is less than, we say too low. If it is greater than, we say too high. Say too high. Okay, so 3 different actions will be taken in this case. So for example, if it is equal, so in this case we are going to use if condition. If the guess number is equal to, let me use it from new here, operator. If guess number is equal to the secret number, then we say lucky guess. Okay. Now, if not lucky guess, we want to check what next, whether it is less than the secret number, the guess is less than secret or not. So we check like if the guess is less than the secret number, then we say too low, try another number by pressing A. Okay, so in this case, if a guess is less than the secret number, it says too low. What you guessed is low. Try some higher number. Okay. The next we check for the high. So it says like if the guess is greater than the secret number. If the guess is greater than the secret number, we say too high, try another number. Okay. So now you see that in this case, we select the secret number, we press A, guess a number. Let's say that we guess 2. So it says too low. What you are guessing is low. Try some another number by pressing A. Let's say we guess 20. It is also low. Try some another number. Let's say we guess 25. It is high. So the number is between 20 and 25. So let's say that next time we enter 24, lucky guess. So this is just an adding and help to the user in the game by using sequential if. By using sequential if. Is it clear? Students online. So how this works is that first it will check the number. If it is true, it will print lucky guess and it will go for the next check. Next check, definitely it is false. Then it will go for the another check. It is false, it will come out. So you see that the first is true, it will print lucky guess and then it will also check the second and the third, which is not required because second and third is already in a definitely it will be false because the first is true. Second and third will be false, but still it will check because it is a sequential access. It will execute every block. Right? So, but we can solve this sequential access by using if else, what we call nested selection. If inside another if. Okay, so we can use the if else here, what we call nested selection to test that. Fine. So what we'll do here, let's say we'll duplicate this. So we check if it is there. So we are going to use the else part here, if else. Okay, if else. So say if is equal to this, we say lucky guess. Okay, else we check the condition again. So inside else we are going to use again if else. Else if the guess is less than, too low, else it is too high. Of course, if it is not less than, it will be greater than, right? So if it is not less than, it will be greater than. Now this is called nested if. This is what we call nested if else or nested selection. If inside another if, also called the nested selection. Okay. So in this case, if the first is true, the next two conditions are not checked. And if the first is false, it will go to the else, check the another condition. If it is this also false, it will just say too high. Okay. So let's say that I enter 20. So it says too low. So it comes here. It says too low. Guess another number. Let's say I say it's like 26. So it says too high. Guess another number. Okay. Now again I press A. Let's say I guess 24. So it says lucky guess. Fine. So this is called nested selection. Selection inside another selection. Okay, how does it work? This is a flow chart for this nested selection. If the first condition is true, it will just print lucky guess and come out of it. It will not go to test the next condition. Clear? And if the first condition is false, it will check the second condition. If it is true, it says too low. And if this is false, it says too high. Okay? Is it clear? Nested selection. Okay. Compound condition. The next is compound condition with numbers. Compound condition is like if we have two or more conditions by using the Boolean operator and, or, and not. Right. So if you have two or more conditions, three conditions, or two conditions that you want to test, if both are true, you'll do something. If both are false, you'll do something. If any one is true, the other is false, you'll do something. Okay. So it's all like the condition and joining two conditions. So we can make the condition compound condition by using and, or, and not, which is called Boolean operators. Why we call these Boolean operators? Because these operators work on Boolean values, that is true or false. This operator works on Boolean values, that is true or false. So for example, if you want to check like 1 is less than 2 and 1 is greater than minus 1. So it means that this 1 is between minus 1 and 2. 1 is between minus 1 and 2. So if both the condition is true, the AND condition returns true. Right? If both condition is true, the AND condition reports true. Like 5 less than 2. It is a true or false? 5 less than 2. True or false? It is false. And 5 greater than 1 is true. So false and true, it reports false. It reports false. Okay? False, it reports false. Because false, if any one is false, it returns false. How about this? 10 less than 20, true or false? 10 less than 20. 10 less than 20, is it false? True. Now the next, and 10 less than 5. It is false. So true and false is, this is true and this is false. What is the result, true and false? True and false is false. Okay. So if in the AND operator, we check this. In the AND operator, check when we have, let's say we have true and true. True and true is true. If it is true and false is false. False and true is false. And false and false is false. So we see that if both are true, if both conditions are true, it is true, otherwise it is false. If both conditions are true, it is true, otherwise it is false. The AND operator, the AND says. I think you have already studied this in other courses. Am I right? Have you studied this in other courses? Yeah. Okay, the next operator is, yes, the next operator is the OR operator. or operator. Or operator is if any one condition or both conditions are true, it is true. If both are false, the condition is false. The whole condition is false. So what is the result of this? 1 less than 2 or 1 greater than 10. True or false? The whole condition. 1 less than 2 or 1 greater than 10. Is it true or false? True, because 1 less than 2 is true or 1 greater than 10 is false. Okay, so 1 less than 2 true, so anything with the true or with the true, it is true. Okay. Similarly, how about this one? 1 less than 10, sorry, 10 less than 10, 1 and 10 greater than 10. False. The whole, because both the conditions are false. Right. So if you talk about the or operator, true or true, it is true. True or false, it is true. False or true, it is true. False or false, it is false. Okay. So you say that only false or false is false, otherwise it is true. Okay. This is the or operator. We also have the not operator. As I said, not is in it's a unary operator, and it converts the true into false or false into the true. The not operator. Okay. So for example, 10 less than 5. It is false. Not of this is true. Okay. That's the not operator. So there is an example here. It shows by using or operator, the length of the password less than 4 or length of the password greater than 8, invalid length of the password. So it is checking the length of the password, that is between, should be greater than 4 and less than 8. So anything less than 4 and greater than 8, it says invalid by using the logical operators, or sorry, by using the relational operators, if else. Selection with the strings. We can also do the selection statements with the strings. Strings are nothing but a set of characters, like what we have studied in our previous class. A string is nothing but a set of characters. Okay. Let's have a 2-minute break here, and we'll continue inshallah after break. We'll take a 2 minutes break. Okay. Okay, so we'll continue selection with strings. Now, selection with strings is when you want to do some selection based on the string values. Okay. For example, like we want to try the first character of our password. What is the first character of the password? Fine. So we want to check that whether the first character is an alphabet or not. So if it is an alphabet, we say okay, good password set. Otherwise, we say that new password. Enter the new password. Fine. So there we need to check the uh, the character, the first character. Okay. So with the selection. So we can get the characters in the string. Basically, a string. We all know that a string is a set of characters, right? We talk about a string in the last meeting. So a string is a set of character. For example, the string is welcome. So the string is, let's say the string is welcome. Okay. So a string is here the set of characters, as you see here. It's called a string. Right. String is a set of characters. Now these characters has an index or a number. For every character is a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So let's say that let's say that we have a string called name which is assigned to a variable which is name is Muhammad, Mohamad. Okay, so if I say that the name string Muhammad, it's the letter of Muhammad, letter 1 of the name. What is the first letter of the name? The first letter of the name. It is M. So this will give us M. This will give us M. So we can check the letters, first letter, second letter, third letter, okay, by using this block of letter, as in strings. Okay. So in OU build also we can use that. So we have letter of word. The first letter of word is W, right? So let's say that we say letter 1 of Muhammad. Okay. So what it is? M. Letter 2. Letter 2 of Muhammad, O. Letter 7 of Muhammad, E. Letter 8 of Muhammad, D. Now what is letter 9? What is letter 9 of Muhammad? Invalid. So it will not give you anything because there is no letter 9. Letter 8 is D, which is the last letter. Okay. Now what is letter 0? Nothing. Okay. So the letter starts from 1 to the last letter. Fine. So we can check the letter of for to check the strings. We can use the letter of to check with the strings. Okay. A string can also be compared. String can also be compared. It is compared based on the sequence of the characters. Sequence of the characters A, B, C, D. For example, let's say that A is less than B. A is less than B. This returns true or false. Yes, A less than B is true or false? It is true. It says true. Why? Because A comes first, B is next. So B is greater than A. So let's say that M less than B. This is M less than A. False. Okay. So now if I say something like this, Muhammad less than Ahmed. True or false? False. Because M, we check the first character, first letter with the first letter. So M is less than A, false. So it will directly says false. Now if I have something like this, Ahmad less than Ahmed, it is false because they are equal, not less than. Okay. Now if I say Ahmed 1, sorry, Ahmed 3 less than Ahmed 2. This says true or false? Yes. True or false? Are you sure false? This is false. Because it Ahmad 3 is less than 2 is false. So if I said Ahmad 1 less than Ahmad 2, this is true. Okay, so you got an idea like how the string comparison is done based on their order, right? For example, this string is less than this. This is true, okay, because the first character is same. The second character A and R. So A is less than R, so it returns true. Cat less than camel, false, because when it comes to T, C A same, but when it comes to T and M. So T comes after M. So it is false. Okay. Dog is equal to dog, it is true. Fine. So for example, EH1, okay, EH3. So 1 less than 3, it is true. This is how the string comparison is done. So here we have an activity 3.11. Okay, this activity is to guess a name of the animals. Okay, so guess a name of the animal. This is the list of the animals: fox, badger, cat, dog, cow, elephant, and all. Okay, password is good. Password correct, false. Okay, click me to enter the password. So it asks you to enter the password. It will check if the password attempt is equal to what you enter the password, equal to the password what is set here. Password is hood. So if you enter a hood, password correct, and it will select a random of animal to the animal. Okay, so it will check an animal number into this variable animal, and it will take the first letter. It will ask you to first it will first give you the first letter and ask you guess the animal name. So if your guess is correct, so it says well done. Otherwise, it gives you a message. If the guess is less than animal, you see try later in the dictionary or try earlier in the dictionary. Fine. So this is an activity with 3 different functions in the whole program. Set this one. So it's I so I give you this as an assignment to do at home, back at home, to post this assignment. Okay, activity 3.11. This is just to check the sequence and also the use of the strings. Fine. Okay, this activity has three parts. This is part number 1, part 2, and part 3. Part number 1, we are all setting the animal names, and setting the password. The password as boot, password correct false, and says a message click me to get to enter the password. Okay, so it initializes the animal names, password, and whether it is the password correct to false, and click me to enter. Okay, so this is the first part. Part 2 and 3. Explain how the code works in part 2 and 3. In part 2, what happens? In part 2, first it will ask you to enter the password. So you enter the password here, that will be set as an attempt. So it will check if your attempt is equal to the password. So that means that you are entering the correct password or not. So if you are entering the correct password, so it will say password correct is true. It will select an animal item random of animal. Animals is this random of animal. One random animal name from this list. It can be dog or cow or elephant. Okay, and set to that animal variable. To the animal variable, and play the message like correct password. Press space bar to play the game. Okay, and if you are entering wrong password, say password incorrect, and it will stop. Right. Again, you click the sprite to start again. So if you are entering the correct password, you press the space key. If the password is false, so you must enter first password. Otherwise, stop this script. Otherwise, it say that I spy the. You take the first letter of the animal and display it, and ask them to guess what I spy. Guess what the name I have. So you enter the guess. If the guess is equal to animal, you say well done. If it is less than animal, you say incorrect. Try the later one. Okay, try the later one. And if it is greater than animal, you say try earlier one. Any animal name that comes before it. Okay, this is the third part. Okay, that's about using strings in programming. Okay, by in the AOU build, how the strings are used. That's what is given here. Okay, the next part is designing an algorithm and implementing the program. Designing algorithm is writing program in a form of statements, in a set of statements, one by one, okay, to achieve the solution. And implementing the program is nothing but writing the program, like in OU build, for example. Right. So we can use the selections in the program if it is needed. So how can we identify that we need to selection? We need a selection in program specification and express then in algorithm. First, we check the clues in the program specification, that if there is something like if, otherwise, depends, either, decide, choose, okay, something like which is more likely the need of selection. Then we use the selection. They may appear there on or in combination. For example, if the ball hits the bat, play the beep sound. Otherwise, play the klaxon sound. Now here in this case, there is an if else. There is an if else here. If the ball hits the bat, play it. Else, play the another sound. Owl should choose to fly of the cage if fox is not nearby. So in this case, if fox not nearby, fly out of the cage. So it is just only if condition. Use table symptoms to decide whether the patient has flu or not. So you check like if there is some symptom, patient has flu. Else, patient has no flu. Fine. So you have to look for inside a program some clues like that says that what you are gonna use. Okay. So like this, something like this. If the ball hits the bat, then play the beep sound. Else, play the klaxon sound. If fox is not nearby, then we'll fly out of the cage. Something like this. Okay. Testing and debugging a complete program. So till now what we learn about is writing the program. So when we write the program, it is not only just writing the program. To complete our program and to say that our program is correct and working according to the specification, we need to debug it and we need to test it to make sure that our program is running fine or our program does not have any mistakes. Our program does not have any mistake. So to make sure that we definitely need to test our program. To definitely need to test your program. So you learned we aim to test every aspect of the program specification. For a program does different things for different kind of input. Okay, we need to check each kind of input. Any program that takes different inputs acts differently on different inputs. We need to check for every input. To illustrate, let's consider a tennis tournament example activity of 3.13. To illustrate this, so here participant of the tournament need to be entered into the right computation of their age. So it depends on the participation entry in the tennis competition based on their age. So what we have to check here is we have to check the age and let the participant enter into the competitions. Let the participant enter into the competition based on their age. Based on their age. So how do we check that? What we have to do for that? So that like we see the specification. Those age under 12 should enter junior competition. Those who are 12 and over and under 18 intermediate competition. And those who are 18 and over should be entered into senior competition. So you see that here three different competitions based on three different conditions. Okay, based on the age condition. The age condition here it says any age under 12 is a junior competition will enter the junior competition. Any person with 12 and above 12 and above and under 18 will enter the intermediate competition. Anyone 18 and above will enter the the adult or the senior competition. Okay, so here to check that what we have to do, where is the values, what are the values that decide that a person is a junior or intermediate or a senior. Okay, so we need to check for the ages. Fine, so we see that we put these values and say that okay, anything 11 and below 11 should become as in junior competition. Anything from 12 to 17 should come under a category of intermediate. Anything above the 18 should come under a category of senior competition. So we need to check these values. Okay. We also check the boundary values. Boundary values are nothing but the closed values which makes the decision. Like for example 11. and 12. Okay, 10, 11, 12, 13. These are called the boundary values. The boundary values. So this decides, okay, 12, 11 and 12. In between 11 and 12, this decides the change of the competition, junior competition or intermediate competition. And similarly here between an intermediate and the senior, it is 16, 17, 18, 19. So we need to test our program with these values, which are called boundary values. Apart from this, we need to test the program. Apart from this, we need to test some values from here and some values from here. Okay, every stage we need to take some values and test our program that it is working fine for these values or not fine, which is called testing. Which is called testing. So testing is a very important part in programming. So any program that works, that is developed or that is written, that is implemented, must go through testing. Okay, to make sure that the program is correct, working fine with different values, and if there are different kind of inputs. Okay, so we have to check every kind of input to make sure that the program works fine. Okay, otherwise there may be a chance that we develop a program and later we find that the program is not working for some inputs, for some values. Okay, so we must take care that our program work for every kind of input and work correctly based on the conditions, based on the specifications. Okay, that's good. Finally, we look into common selection errors when we use selection. Okay, we make some errors. Usually, there are some common mistakes which are being done while using selections. So, when testing, if program fail a test, then we need to look for errors, like where is the mistake. Fine. One specific kind of error to look for in a program involving selection is incorrectly implemented condition, that you want to check like a number is less than 10, but you are checking a number is less than or not less than, you said like a number is greater than 10. So incorrect implemented condition will also give an error or wrong outputs. A small error in implementing a condition lead to the problem, the boundary value problems. Another kind of error is involving if then else block. It is implemented like if then parts in a wrong way. Okay, you put the if condition in the else and else in the if. Okay, that's a selection error. So this is about the selection statements in programming and how we use the OU build to understand the selection statements of programming. So this is our third meeting where we talk about these selection statements in programming. You have activities related to this meeting, activity 3. There are a number of activities in that activity number 3. You can go to download those activities and do these activities. Okay, that make you understand more about selection. That makes you understand more about selection. So having completed this part, you should be able to describe the task performed by small OU build program involving selections. So you must be clear after this that what is selection and how to use selection using OU build. Amend and create small OU build program involving selections, create an algorithm involving selections, implement OU build involving selections, suggest suitable values for testing, that is the boundary values and the intermediate values, and say why the test is testing and debugging is necessary, and if there is any mistake, where can be the mistakes. Okay, so this is the summary of our this meeting. We have 10 minutes, so let's have a question and answer session. If you have any questions, please go ahead. Students online, any questions, please go ahead. questions? No one has any question?